Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Here we are again. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, so I transplanted my little plants, and what I did was one night I threw a lot of seeds in one of these, and then I had to replant them. But what is really amazing is in a couple days, well, first of all, they survived my transplantation, but they were about this, big, and in just a couple of days they have really grown huge. So I have some mint tea. It's really good hot, and it's really good cold, and I'm trying to drink a lot of lemon juice, about at least a half a cup of lemon per day. So, now tonight I have 5 ingredients chicken chili you make in 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes, and it's really good. Let me see if this thing is going. Okay. It says my iCloud is full. So, now let me show you what I made. This is good. This is super easy. Okay, take a look at this. There's nothing to this stuff. I don't know if it's showing. Okay, so here is how I made this. Okay. 1 can black beans, and I rinse them good. 1 can of tomatoes, and I just ground them in the blender. I think they taste better. Some chicken, raw. I'm kind of leaning towards the chicken legs these days. I bought bags of chicken tenders, but I think the legs are a better deal. Okay, 1/2 package, because I made a small batch of chili mix. And I use about 1 can water and some green olives. I think the best deal on olives is Walmart. So that's it. Counting the chicken, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, a little water. That's it. So how was that for quick, you guys? Okay, so now let's get a little bit out. So I just left my chicken. The green olives are very, very yummy. Okay, take a look at this. Yikes. Okay, and then instead of cornbread, I bought a bag of tortilla chips. So this is really tasty. And so, so what I would do, is I would just dip these tortilla chips in my, let me show you, in my chili. That'll do. Yummy. The olives give your chili a really tasty taste. So how's that for a quick meal? And it's good too. Then I made a little batch of rolls because I've had tortilla burritos for the past couple days. So These will make some tasty little sandwiches. I used my starter mix, but you can just use yeast. I use this instead of yeast because at one point we couldn't get any yeast. So 2 cups flour and 1/2 tablespoon of yeast is enough for 8 batches of bread. And then I put a big pan of water in the oven to rise it. And I also rose my bread that way. Then I went and I got my Pioneer bread recipe. And instead of the yeast, I just used my starter. I put my starter, you can do it the night before and make the bread the next morning. If you don't want to use a pan of hot water to rise your starter in the oven. And then you just use your starter like the yeast. You mix it with 1 1/4 cup water and 1 tablespoon sugar, and you let it activate for a while and then mix the flour in. And then that's a really easy way to make bread. It's so hot. So the shopping centers are opening up a tiny bit, like Macy's. I haven't been in Macy's, and some of our restaurants have curbside, and you know, we're all wearing masks, of course. So I've been eating lemon in my tea, so I looked up other acidic foods: lemons, limes, blue plums, grapes, pomegranates, grapefruit juice, grapefruits, blueberries, pineapple, and then vinegar, and then they didn't mention oranges. So all that stuff is going to protect us from a virus. I mentioned before that Alexander the Great protected his army with vinegar in the water. So the more acidic foods we can get, the better off we're going to be. Now, what did I make for dessert? I made a tasty lemon meringue pie. Yes, when I was married a long time ago, this was my ex-husband's favorite. And the way I make them is very, very easy. That's what happens when you've been making them a long time. I just baked this, so I don't know. Let's see if I can get a piece out of the... I made my own pie crust, of course. So now, what if we're very... not bad. I mean, I just took this out of the oven. I'm surprised I could get it out this well. Yummy. So, here it is. Okay, so there. Now, this is not the usual pie crust recipe I make, but it was good. And I mentioned in the last video that bread recipe is the Mormon recipe, and they would my grandmother would bake bread every morning. So the breads were the loaves were the size, you know, that you would consume, and then, you know, the next morning. But on this cookbook, it makes a lot. So how I did this was 1 cup flour. I used a little bit under 1/2 cup shortening and salt, and I cut that in, and then I put, I made a well in the middle, and I just wet my dough with icy cold water until a ball formed. And then the trick is you refrigerate your dough for about an hour before you bake it. Then I rolled it out and I put it in a pan and I baked it 350 halfway through the crust. Then, this is a good recipe. Okay, on this recipe, I mix everything except for, instead of cornstarch, the old-fashioned way, I just use flour. I mixed all the egg yolks, the sugar, the salt, and the water together, and I whisked it around. Now, if you stir it continuously, less bad stuff will happen. And then I started adding the flour little by little until it thickened up. Then I turned the heat off, and I just used 1 lemon and the juice of 1 lemon. And I used 1 tablespoon butter. Then, I beat up the meringue, and then I just kept my eye. I had it 350, and I kept my eye on it until, it was looking good, because I like my meringue all the way done. Let me give you the custard pie recipe. One of my friends a long time ago, her neighbor would beg her to make custard pies, and she would only make them for him if he paid her. That's funny. Yeah, that's true. So now the trick on this chili is you want to cook your chicken until your chicken literally falls apart. See how tasty this is? Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy. Then get your chips, and then, dip. The olives taste really good. If somebody said, I'll pay you if you make me a lemon meringue pie, I'd go, no, make your own. The recipe's right here. Yummy. Now, okay, we're going through this pandemic, and what we learned is it's not a good thing when someone says your job is non-essential. So when I retired, my idea was to sell at the swap meet. Guess what? You can't do that. You can't be in a crowd. So I've been selling on eBay, but the thing about selling on eBay is they buy the stuff, but they don't send the money. But technically you can work. So my idea was to create a little business online. I haven't been working much because, of the pandemic. But my idea was to find some kind of merchandise and sell it, like this costume jewelry stuff. I usually sell about $1 or $2. But one of the things, if you keep your eye out and you find real silver nickels and dimes and hang on to those, gold, silver jewelry, gold and silver plated jewelry, and then I'm thinking about, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, selling my junk on eBay like a thrift store. So now, here's one of the bracelets. This is a cute bracelet. The thing about this bracelet is it was made in Italy, and it's 18 karat gold plated. So that's good. And then, one day, I found this earring. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but this is a 925 earring. So it's silver plated. And then when I buy junk jewelry, a lot of times I will get little silver necklaces. So if you go into selling junk jewelry, you want to go through your junk and make sure there's no silver plated jewelry or gold plated jewelry in there. And consider making your bread homemade. Now let me see how many minutes I'm at. Okay, you guys. Consider growing some plants. These are just seeds out of my food. We'll see what's going to happen. I'll be growing some more stuff. Also, I have learned don't do anything to them when they're kind of droopy like this, because they'll perk up a lot of times. This is 2 tomato plants right there. I'm not sure what these are. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.